Hello there. Today I'm going to start building a gate for our farm. We haven't even got a fence yet, but I just fancy building a gate, so that's what I'm going to do. We've got 3 entrances to the farm. We've got one down here, which is our main path. We've got one just behind the camera here, which leads off to another clearing, which is where we're doing our sort of biggest project, which I will reveal at a later date. We've got sort of 2, what I'd call like maintenance paths. They just sort of lead off to other areas of the woodland, but in time those areas will be closed off once the fence is built. They won't be permanent paths. And then we've got our other path going up my lovely steps up there. I think for now I'm debating whether to do the gate at the bottom of our main path or at the bottom of the steps. Now, I think our main path, we do need a bit more access for the time being, so perhaps the steps would be a better option, and it would just make it all come together quite nicely. For this project, I cut down this young pine or fir tree. I'm not quite sure what it was. I believe it might be the offspring of that big tree behind me over there. So I think I'm gonna cut this in half, and we're gonna use it as the 2 posts for the gate to sit on. And this has been sat over there drying for about 8 months now, although there's still a lot of sap coming out of it. Great. My nice shirt's ruined. I was going to build a little shelter there, sort of like a little bushcraft shelter. But what we're going to do now, one day in the future, we're going to build a nice pergola and sort of a communal eating area over there. So this is now open for other projects, and so that's what I'm going to do with it today. Let's get started. So let's start by cutting this guy in half. Still using my trusty sawhorse, the old log here. And we're just going to measure it from top to bottom so we can find the halfway point. Stay on there. 232 2.5. No. 233 I'm going to say. So 230, 115, 3, 16.5. Yeah. 116.5. Oh, look at that. There's a lovely little incision. That's weird. It's almost like I've drawn on it before. There you go. Oh, there's a knot right where I was cutting. There you go. Do a little bit of wiggling at the end. Whew. There you go. There's one of the posts. Oh, and I'll tell you what. Pine has got to be one of the best smells in the world. Don't worry. These are a non-native species here, and I am going to be replanting any of the conifer trees that I cut down with Scots pine, which are a native British species, and they smell even better. Yeah, so this was a young one that was just coming up, well, not just coming up, it was about 15 feet tall. It's best to get them while they're young, because I'm not sure what species this is, but we do have Douglas firs here. And although Douglas firs are beautiful and very ecologically valuable, I'd rather get them down when they're young so they don't become behemoths like the other ones. Anyway, we have our first gate post. It's a little bit short actually, that's a shame. Gotta get this nail out as well, but let's go try and get it in the ground. So in order to get these in the ground, I'm going to shape them down into a sort of spike, so that they're just a bit easier to get in. I'm not sure which side to use. This has got a lot of knots on the bottom here, you can see. So I'm probably going to use this other side. The wood is still very green, I'll show you. You can see, despite the fact that it's set outside for about 8 months, I think it's still alive. I'm surprised it didn't re-root in the soil. I just hope it dries out while it's in here, obviously. The downside of it is that my hands are covered in pine sap, which, although it smells lovely, it's going to make eating lunch a little bit difficult later. So let's get started on shaping this into a spike. That'll do. Looks like when I try to sharpen a pencil with my knife. Now you're probably wondering why I'm not using these posts that are already in here for the gate. Well, firstly, I'll be honest with you, pine is just much more aesthetically pleasing. These are cherry laurel, which are quite handy wood to work with. The downside is that I found out recently, and I'm a little bit silly for not looking into this earlier, when you cut cherry laurel down, they smell delicious. They smell like vanilla.
Look at that. Smells nice. I can smell that from here.
Oh,
I can smell it from here.
dude, that smells like vanilla ice cream or something.
What the hell?
That's so weird.
You could make an aftershave like that.
Yeah, you could. Or a candle or something.
That's good aftershave.
What I didn't know is that is actually cyanide that they're releasing.
Banging.
So unless you dry them out properly, then they're going to be essentially leaching cyanide into the soil. Now this one is dry. Oh, I've got a tick on me, hello. But you can see this one is quite dry. So I don't think there's any risk of cyanide poisoning. But like I said, pine is just beautiful. And when I thought about building a gate, I was thinking it needs to be like a nice rustic forest gate, do you know what I mean? So yeah, cherry laurel I am still going to use for other things. The fence posts that are dotted around the farm are cherry laurel, but for the gate I want something nicer. Right, so now we need to determine where we want the fence posts to go. So, I mean, there's already a hole there, but I don't want the gate to be that big. So I might just bring it in so that it's in line with where the step is, and here as well. I might start on this side and get this post in here. I will have to dig a little bit, but the idea of sort of sharpening the end like this is so that it goes in a little bit easier. Now the fence has been swallowed up. There's another fence post over there. And, I mean, it's not much of a fence anyway. And when I got here today, couldn't really get down my staircase because you got one step there, and then the rest of it's up there, all swallowed up.